Screen. Okay, welcome to our coaching chat Zoom. We are talking about our fourth quarter focus. And as most of you guys know, we just finished up a series and we're going to kind of maybe one more wrap up a little bit here on looking at this, the atomic habits. And that's what we just finished up. We're going to do a little bit of review, and then I'm going to ask you guys to kind of share, and you'll see what I'm going to ask you to share in a minute. So if you don't have a pencil and paper in front of you, if I could ask you to get one, and we're going to go back over the last 4 weeks, what we kind of went through, and we're going to pull it together and we're going to kind of workshop it a little bit today, because knowing how to create a habit in all these areas, these 9 areas of our focus on our business, will really help us finish the fourth quarter strong. And that's what we want. We want that as leaders. We want that as to be able to help our team really create habits that will help them be successful in this business. So if I'm thinking about the 4 weeks, we studied these 4 areas. And what it was if we have these 4 components, we will have ourselves in a powerful habit that will propel us forward in our business. So when setting up a habit, first we talked about making that habit so obvious that we're going to do it every single time. And so here's what I want you to, from there, we said, if we're going to have this new habit, it's got to be obvious. And then we have to make it attractive. If it's not a habit that we're attracted to, it's not going to happen. So I want you to think about what will inspire you to implement a habit. The third thing is we have to make it easy. That was the lead in that Mara, you just made a comment that we're not going to do it. If things are too complicated in this business, we're not going to do it. I don't care how good, how committed we are. If it's not easy, we're not going to do it. So when you're thinking of these habits, what will you do to make these habits easy so you will do it in relationship to our business? And we're going to get into what areas. And then the fourth thing is we have to make it satisfying. So what is it about this business that attracts you to this business? Whatever's attracting you, that's what we kind of want to create our reward. You know, I told you about, I wanted to make so many connections a week. And then if I made those connections in Monday through Thursday, I take Friday off. I saw Ann just show up on the call. Ann, I'm glad you're with us today. And I remember she told me she takes Mondays off. And the fact she's on here, kudos to Ann for being on here today on your day off.
Thank you.
But she's realizing she's got a whole nother practice, but she also wants to really build her Juice Plus business. So she's utilizing her day off to build her Juice Plus business. But thinking about how can I reward myself? And so here are our areas these are our areas of business. Can everybody see those? Okay. So part of it's building a network. So I want you to look at all 9 boxes, and I want you to think about what area do you feel like you need to develop to make your business more successful? Do you need to build your network saying, you know what? My memory jogger's getting slim. I need to figure out how to build my network so I can build that memory jogger list. And come October, we're literally we're going to break these segments down, and we're to the point that how do you build a bigger network? Build that prospecting base. Is that an area? Or maybe you're like, no, I got tons of people. That's not my issue. Maybe it's, I just don't know how. I've got a big network. I just don't know how to attract them and get into a good conversation with them to even begin talking about Juice Plus. Or maybe it's customer attracting. I've got a big network. I talk to them, but somehow I can't convert them into becoming a customer. Or maybe it's customer care. I'm getting customers, but they're not staying with me. Mara alluded to this as well. We don't want to just get people who take Juice Plus for 4 months and then they're done. We're looking for lifetime customers that stay with us 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's how we build residual income. Or maybe you're saying, I got 40 customers, but I cannot seem to attract a partner to save my life. We're going to take some time and we're going to unpack that square. Or maybe I've got 5, 10 partners, but nobody's doing anything. How do I really, truly develop a team of workers? Or maybe, like me, I'm no good at social media. So I'm looking at actually hiring someone to do it for me. So maybe that's an area. So what I'm wanting you to do is think about what areas do I really need to build and grow in. So I'm looking at a couple myself that I want to really hone in on. How about planning and promoting events? It's Carrie Daigle that says, if you know how to promote an event, you will build an incredible business. And then lastly, personal development. Am I really building and growing myself in those areas? Just like, reading the books, being on this call. This is part of personal development. Maybe you've got some people on your team that you need to encourage in that area of personal development. All right, so I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to stop sharing. And I want to see, Precious, I'm looking at you. Tell me, which of those quadrants do you want to focus on going into this fourth quarter focus? Which of those quadrants is going to be your focus?
Partner promoting.
Partner promoting. So basically developing your partners or bringing them on?
Both.
Okay, all about the partners. Okay, so we've been talking about habits for 4 weeks. Have you had a chance to really go back through, and I'm going to pull that loop back up, go back through that loop and create a habit that's going to support you bringing on new partners and developing them? Have you had a chance to do that?
I have not, because I've been off for a couple of months, but I'm refocused. I'm ready to start. Just looking at all the habits makes me want to do something different, something new. So I'm excited about just revamping my whole plan and starting fresh.
Can I use you as a guinea pig today?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So what we're going to do, and I'm hoping I might pick on someone else once we get through walking through with Precious. So be jotting some thoughts down. Okay. I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull up, that habit loop. And now I got to find where you guys went. Okay, there you guys are. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're going to, can y'all see what I can't see? Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. Okay, can y'all see the habit loop? Yes? No. Now we can.
Yeah, now we can.
Sorry about that. Okay, so let's take Precious has identified her area of focus going into the fourth quarter. And so no matter what your focus is, what we want to do is create habits that will help us be successful in that fourth quarter focus. So let me ask you, Precious, if first and foremost, we want to make it obvious. So if your focus is going to be attracting partners and developing them, what is it that's going to be a reminder to you day in and day out to place your focus on attracting new partners and developing them?
I think I need to make a plan like the night before. So
Okay.
I'll have a list the night before of what it is that I need to do, or more importantly, who the people are that I need to go after, so to speak.
Okay. Do you feel like that plan needs to be nightly or just once a week?
I think starting off, it needs to be nightly,
Okay. Okay, good.
and then maybe turn into once a week.
Okay. And so,
So it could, so I can just make sure that it's in here.
right. So where are you going to put this plan so that you're reminded? So when it comes to that, make it obvious. It is like it's in your face, basically. So are you going to do a written plan? You're going to put it on your phone? What's your plan look like? Is it going to be a written plan?
What seems to work best for me is if I write it twice. So one physically on a notepad that's on my desk that I see every single morning. And
Okay.
then also in my phone as reminders that actually go off, not just, a list, like an alarm actually goes off.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you've got your good cues, and I think those phone alarms with the tag coming up, I think for me, they work beautifully, because when I'm consciously making a choice not to do what I've already planned and told myself I was going to do. So it's either, okay, I cannot do that right now, but here's when I'm going to do it today. Then if I can't do it when I've got the alarm going off to do it. So I love that. You've got your visual with your plan and you've got a phone. So you've made it very obvious. Let me go back to one thing. What's going to trigger you to plan the night before? Do you have an alarm on your phone to take 5 minutes and plan?
I don't, but that's the new thing that I need to start implementing.
Okay. Okay. Now, so she's got a way to make it obvious. It's almost, we talked about the prep. Like if you want to create a habit, sometimes you need a 2-minute habit that will implement the true habit you're trying to do. I forget what it was called. So your 2-minute habit is taking that 2 minutes at night and coming up with a game plan. So it's your prep habit that will create the true habit of really getting in a groove and in a rhythm of focusing on attracting new partners and developing them.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So that's your kind of prep habit. I forget. Does anyone remember what he called that? I'd have to go look in my notes. But it's a preliminary habit that, like his example was, if you want to get into the habit of exercising first thing out of bed in the morning, you put your shoes, so you stumble over your shoes when you get out. So that night before 2-minute prep habit is the one that's going to implement that ongoing daily habit of connecting with new people and developing the ones you have. Okay, so next, how do we make it attractive? So what is it that when you think about is going to create a craving that it's going to create in you to really, this is your 4th quarter focus, is partners and developing the new partners you have, or any partner you have. What is it that would inspire you to keep this habit going?
That's the part where I need the help at, because I don't know what it is that's making it attractive. Like, I know that I like the community, so I like being able to plan with other people, but that isn't necessarily, the same for everybody else. So I don't know how to make it attractive across the board. Like, one person in particular I know is attracted to the same thing that I am, but then I have some others who are not. So I don't know how to, just do it across for everybody.
Well, and I think you've kind of answered your own question. And that is, what makes it attractive to you is community. So right now, this is your habit. So all that matters is what inspires you. Now, when you start going to your partners, you go through this habit loop with them, and everyone on this call is going to have different answers. What you're answering is not going to be the same for everyone. So if community inspires you, I think it's thinking through, okay, if community makes it attractive, would it be helpful to, Aaron's, you're applying, would it be helpful for Aaron to send you, I'm pretty sure Aaron does project broadcast, correct, Brenda? Would it be helpful for Aaron to send you she can automate it and say, Precious, how you doing with your habit? The habit that you've created of reaching out to new partners and developing them. Is there some way we as a community can support you in making it attractive, since community is what makes it attractive to you? Am I making sense?
Yeah, but
so maybe
this is me though. This is me personally. Like,
yeah,
I like having like scheduled meetings, right?
Okay.
Where we will all get together and work and figure out. I don't so much like the reminder texts, because like I tend to do what I'm supposed to do, so it kind of irritates me to constantly keep getting, you know what I'm saying, like repetitive stuff. But I really like what we're doing right now. I really like this. I even like being able to do this in person, like in a coffee shop or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So coming back to this, what if you and Aaron, or what if you and Aaron met once a month, and she's basically saying, you've created this habit because we're going to create it right now for you.
Mm-hmm.
How is your habit working? Is it holding you accountable? Tell me your progress. Who are your new partners? How are your partners? Are you developing? Would that be attractive to you?
Yes, because we used to do it and we just got away from it, especially after COVID happened. We used to me, her, and Tish used to meet every single week, every Thursday. Yeah, and I actually miss doing that.
Okay, so we figured out your cues. We figured out what makes it attractive. That one-on-one meeting with Aaron, and she's asking you questions. Tell me how it's going. What kind of progress you making? Now, you guys, I'm gonna stop here. What we're doing, and I thank you, Precious, for letting us use you as the example. We need to be doing this with our partners. If you have partners on your team, you're a leader. What we want to do is take, and Brenda really held me accountable by saying, Elaine, you're doing these trainings, but we're not flushing it out and making sure we're actually utilizing these trainings and putting these trainings into action. And that's what we're doing right now. And thank you, Precious, for letting us practice on you.
You're welcome.
Love it. So what we want to do is, one, turn in and do this to ourselves and create these habits of whatever category you want to focus on for this fourth quarter. But then we got to turn around and we got to teach our team. Think about who's not on this call that needs to learn this, and who can you help? Teach them how to create these habits. Okay, so we've worked on the cue, the craving, and the next one is the response. How can we make this easy? What will you do to make this habit easy? So the habit is reaching out to new people, inviting them to join you in the business, and then 2, developing the partners you have. How can you make this easy so that you're going to do it on a daily basis?
Knowing what you're trying to attract. Are you looking for a partner? To me, it's easier to break it down.
Okay.
So I know I want partners, and I know I want customers, right?
Yes.
So, you and I mentioned doing some work. So I'm trying to streamline it to make it as easy for me so that it's not overwhelming. And that is something that I struggle with because I have a lot going on. So I think if it were easily broken down, okay, this is, how many partners you want to get, goals, in other words.
Mhm.
Where's my goal? Do I want one partner a month? I want something achievable, but I also want to know what is achievable. You know what I mean?
Well, and yes, I do. I get where you're going from with that. And I think this kind of goes back to this whole part, that first quadrant is if we have, and we're going to start in October and we're going to tackle each one of these quadrants. If we currently have a robust customer memory jogger, these are people we want to attract to become customers, and we have a robust partner list. I think when it comes to Precious's planning at night, if she has two robust memory jogger lists, one for customers, one for partners, she literally looks at that list and says, okay, I'm going to talk to this person and this person. This is who I'm going to reach out to tomorrow. And this is what I'm going to say, what I'm going to send them, what I'm going to invite them to. So I think going back to what you're saying, and I think what makes, at least for me, now let's hear from other people, but I think what makes it easy is if I'm organized and prepared.
Right. Yeah,
then
that's where I feel I need the work though. So I need to get the videos together, the info to get together, what I should and shouldn't say,
Gotcha.
that kind of thing for each one.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
And that information's out there. I just obviously haven't done a good job and directed you to it. So I'm making a note, and Ann, you and I are gonna connect it. I'm gonna make sure that you know, okay, here's where you go if you've got somebody interested in the omegas. Here's where you go if you wanna, if you wanna share the business with someone. So I'm putting your name down right now, and I'm going to work on giving you direction. Let me ask something, because I think this is a good point, and thank you, Ann, for bringing it up, is how many of you guys feel like, and I'm going to stop sharing again because I want to see faces. How many of you guys feel like, okay, I've got my list of prospective customers, I have my list of prospective partners, I just don't know where to go from there? Which is kind of, I'm hearing you, that's what Ann's saying.
Yeah.
Who else has that kind of frustration a bit? Anybody else? Okay, Deborah raised her hand. Anybody else? Because we're gonna make sure. Allison. Okay, who else? Anyone else? Let me see. Man, we got a good group on here today. We got 2 pages. Anyone else? Okay, so I saw Allison, Deborah, and Ann saying, I need it streamlined of where do I go, get the information, and then what to say. All right, good. Okay, so I'm sorry, we got off. And Jelaine, okay. Okay, all right. And you know what? Jelaine brought this point up last week or week before, is do we have a, one place where we can go that it says, boom, here's where you go for this, here's where you go for that. So I'm gonna work on that so that you have a direct, what I want to say, directly, here's where I go if I have this, here's where I go if I need that. So, okay, good thoughts. Okay, let's get back to Precious. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so Precious, does that resonate with you? I just kind of went off what would resonate with me to make it easy. Did that resonate with you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so maybe a quick access to what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can work on that. And then,
and I don't so much struggle with what I need in regards to customers to, get them what they need. It's more so the business, that conversation, how to, because I have the conversation all the time with people. And usually when someone tells me yes, it's usually because they just want to, get their product for free or discounted or whatever. So typically once they get past the partner plus, is like, I don't want to do no more. So how do I get them away from thinking that off rip, you know, because that's usually what comes out of their mouth first. I only want to do, you know, so much. And then I try to, you know, be supportive, like, oh, it's okay. You know, I try to do all that, you know, with them, hoping that I get them, you know, like once that money start coming in, that'll make them, you know, want to do more. But that's where I'm stuck, is I can't get them past that.
Let me ask this question of you. Do you utilize the new onboarding system?
I don't.
Because as I am just sitting here listening, thinking, when it comes to bringing on a new partner, that new onboarding is, now I'm not talking about signing somebody up, which that's brand new. They've got a one-stop process, which is beautiful. But this is our true, once you've signed somebody up, here's the onboarding process, getting them to P+, getting them to QSC, getting them to sales coordinator. It's all beautifully mapped out. So maybe what we do is take a sidebar next week and literally go, and you may have missed that we did go through that process on here, and maybe that's, you know, what is missing.
Where I need to start. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
On the Freedom Revolution.
On the Freedom Revolution, yes. Yes,
Okay.
it's
I'll
beautiful.
go back to that.
So when it comes to making it easy to onboard a new partner, and maybe that's kind of the missing link there is really, let me ask you this, before you bring someone on, do you do a three-way call with either Aaron or Brenda and let one of the two of them cast vision for these new people?
I have, but not recently, no.
Okay. Do you feel like that might, see, I feel like, not that you could easily do that for your team, cast the vision for one of your partners bringing on someone, but it's that third party validation of someone coming in and casting the vision. You're kind of there giving the nuts and bolts. You bring someone else in. When I did financial planning, we used to say it all the time and we laughed our heads off. If you're 50 miles away, you're an expert.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why it is, but that is the case. Not that one person's any smarter than the other, or it's the third party validation. I don't know what it is, and it's not just in our industry, it's in any industry. You bring in quote unquote the expert and they cast vision. They may be able to say something you've said, but they finally hear it. And they see it bigger than just getting a discount.
I believe that it definitely works because I've done it in the past. The last person I brought on, which was a friend of mine who's a doctor, and she just told me right away, like she cut me down right away. I know it works. I want to take the product. I want my family on it, but I don't want to work the business. So she just brought her customers to me, you know, and she did it in less than 10 days. But then it was like after that, she didn't want to do, you know, nothing else.
So what if you asked her a question? When she said, no, you know, I think we all, especially me being an extrovert, I think extroverts especially, we try to basically go head to head and argue our case of why she should do more, which, you know, I know better than that. And I revert to that sometimes. And then I'm like, dang, that wasn't the right approach. The right approach would say, so tell me this, if you believe in this product wholeheartedly, you're a medical expert, you know the research, you get what it's doing, why would you want to stop short of that? When I know you can make 10,000, you know, 5,000, 10,000, 20, 25, 30, 100,000 a month. Why would you want to stop short when, you know, I don't know if you're going to be her wellness coordinator, but I would have offered that.
I did.
I offer you to be your wellness coordinator. And there's unlimited income opportunity, unlimited need out there, and you have unlimited connections. Why would you stop short?
Okay.
You got to get inside her head and find out, why wouldn't she want to embrace it all if you're going to do the legwork for her? You know what I mean?
And I said that, I
Fair.
did tell her that I would do, because that's her fear, that it'll be too much, that it'll be overwhelming. And I did provide that comfort, letting her know that I would, take care of it and help her and, assist her and everything. And she has been, sending me people and stuff. But what you just said, I feel like she could do so much more. And she is limiting herself.
So I think I come back to this and kind of think, what's going to inspire her to do it? What's holding her back? Come up with 5 or 10 questions that you can drill down and really get to the biggest fear and what's holding her back.
Okay.
And try to figure out, okay, how do we eliminate that? Okay, so make it easy. We're going to we'll circle back around with the few who shared, hey, that's an area I want some more tools in. And then lastly, and then we're going to wrap this up, is Precious, how do we make this to create this habit of you every day connecting with new partners in really encouraging and developing your current partners? How are you what will be a reward to you if you've done this on a daily basis?
I don't know.
What makes you be like, man, I love doing Juice Plus? When do you have that feeling?
When I see my check.
So let's talk about your check. So I guarantee you that's nothing wrong with that. That is totally fine. So I guarantee you, if you started right now, 5-6 days a week, connecting with 2 people. What if you connected with 1 new prospective partner a day and checked in with a current partner of how you could help develop and encourage them and grow them? Two connections a day when it comes to partners. That's your focus for the rest of the year.
Okay.
What do you think will happen to your paycheck?
It'll go up.
You know it will.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I think I'd do? I don't know. This may motivate you. It may not. I have a big old sign plastered up here that has my paycheck. What was your paycheck last month? And I put it in big old writing, plaster it where you can see it. And if you like setting a goal, well, you know what? I'd like to see that go up $100 a month or $200 or whatever. Or maybe you just have it and then you just see how it begins to jump by faithfully connecting with people. And that's that reminder. There's another reminder, and it's reminding you of the reward. You're not going to get the reward immediately. And it talked about that in the book. But we've got to have those cues and those reminders along the way that this is what we're working toward, but we're seeing. And maybe you do like a thermometer and you keep raising that, that mercury. Whatever it's going to take, you see the progress. It's not going to come, it'll come 3, 6 months down, 9 months down the road. You're going to be seeing it incrementally grow. It may not be where you want it to be. Maybe you do put where you want it to go. But I think you've got to see somehow the progress that's being made because you've implemented this habit.
Yes.
And so that's somehow whatever resonates and speaks to you, that's what I would encourage you to do so that you can track your progress.
I like that. And something I'll share with you is when I was off, I just had this conversation with my husband on the way home yesterday. When I was off, my check for my practice, for my counseling business, did nothing. But my Juice Plus check continued to come every single month. So that was motivational right there. I needed to be in person with people to get an income, from my counseling business, but JP kept paying me. So for me to be able to look and still see that check there, because I had already built these customers up, and I did that. I continued to take care of my customers while I was off. And that money kept coming. So that made me want to, work even harder and, go even deeper into, building my team. So
Good.
yes, that money is a big motivator.
That's okay. A lot of us are motivated by money. I'm motivated by money.
And you know what? I think that too, Precious, knowing you, when I think, Elaine, also you're talking about a daily reward, you know, even if it's something as small. I know how much you love to be with your family and love maybe taking a walk, you know, taking a walk with one of your kids or taking a walk with Phil, you know, just something that you can do that day that, yeah, I did it. You know, I don't know, that helps me too. I want the big reward. Lord knows I want the check too, but I want to be able to say, I can watch a half hour of Netflix, or I can watch, you know, that kind of thing. I want that reward. Nope, I can't, got to spend my time doing that today.
Well,
Okay, so find something daily to
yeah,
reward
in the
myself.
book it was talking that true reward does come over time, period. But we live in such an instant society, and we've all been affected by that. And that's not going away. And as much as we don't want to be affected by it, we are. So how can you, and maybe it's, you know, telling your husband, I need you to ask about this every day. Would you do that for me? And remind you, hey, Precious, look at what your investment, you know, whatever it takes, we need to figure out, like Brenda said, those daily rewards to remind us for our hard work is paying off and we're getting to where we want to be. So, all right, guys.
Something just shook me, Elaine, when you said that, asking my husband, because everything I do is for my family, my grind. So if he asks me, that's gonna make sure I'm on it, because he's gonna check. He's gonna say, "Let me see."
He's part of that. He's going to get into that habit loop one way or another. So
that's accountability right there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
And Precious, I have to say, probably nothing encourages me anymore than when my husband asks me about my business, and he encourages me and says, Elaine, you know, how many years you've been doing this? You know, what's your income now? How's it grown? What about this team? What about that person? When he asks me that, it does have a huge impact. It is a reward for me because I know, one, he appreciates what I'm doing. So whether it's your spouse or a friend or your upline or sideline, I think not only having them as our accountability incorporated in that habit, but also our encouragement. Brenda is a huge encouragement to me. And is Linda on here? I think I saw her a minute ago, but we used to get on, I would call her to encourage her and I'd hang up because she'd get me so freaking excited of what she was saying, you know? And it's just, what do you need? What do you need for that reward? Who, maybe not even what, maybe it's more, who do you need to feel that reward that gives you that encouragement that you need? So, okay, guys, here's the challenge. I want you guys, hopefully you all picked a square that you're going to focus on, and it could be a couple. That's your fourth quarter focus. Next week, we're going to come back and we're going to do this again because Brenda reminded me that we have got to flush this stuff out and really incorporate it for us to grow. We can hear it, but if we don't put it into action, it's of no value.
And I'm telling you that we had, I think most of you know that we had something called office hours with the NMDs on the team from Sandy Leonard on down. And so it was my opportunity the last couple of months to talk with people who are on other teams. I'm telling you, nobody gets what we get from Elaine. Nobody. I mean, they every time I brought up, like, you know, how do you do trainings and that kind of stuff? If they get it, it's hidden. Nobody's doing what she's doing for us, you know, and it's gold. It's pure gold. And I know all of you feel that way. But you know, from a teacher point of view, you know, that we can't just receive. I have, you know, there's got to be some kind of some kind of way of figuring out, you know, are we using the information, because we are so blessed. Blessed to have each other.
Well, y'all, I love being with you guys during this half hour, 45-minute time frame every Monday. It fills my heart up because I appreciate you guys, and I know Brenda and Linda, I know we all feel the same of how much you guys mean to us and how much we want to move forward as a team and grow and learn from each other. And it's, y'all mean a lot, more than you even have a clue, and we'll try to do better letting you know just how much. So
And just seeing this, I mean, we're so encouraged because this is the biggest group we've had for a long time. And it just means so much for us to be together, and we want to help you. We really do.
all right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Next week, everyone show up, because you don't know, Precious had no idea she was gonna get picked on today.
You
So
get an extra whatever you want today, an extra reward.
yes, you do. There's your reward. Attaboy. So I want y'all to pick your quadrants of what your focus is going to be the fourth year or fourth quarter, and really create those habits. I want a habit for each of the squares that you want to focus on, and walk through exactly what we did with Precious. You walk through that, and I'm going to challenge you to turn around and do that with your team. And let's see what kind of impact that's going to have on our fourth quarter. So, and then starting October, we're going to dissect each one of those squares, and we're going to dig in, you guys, and we are going to figure out what we need to do in each one of those squares to become better partners and better leaders. So, okay, guys, thanks so much.
A real quick, we're excited about conference coming up because there's going to be a lot of, it's going to be the first time that everybody gets to go to the Eltons, for one thing. So really hope that you'll really make the decision to be there for conference in whatever way that we worked out team by team.
What date is that?
It's the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of October. It's Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, you guys, for being on the call.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank